So it's been a good few weeks for Real Madrid. In fact, it's been a good time for them since that loss to Atleti. Another win for them today, another 3 points, this time against Valencia, a team that they lost to at the Bernabeu last season. They did not have that misfortune today. This is how the table is looking on Saturday evening. Real Madrid extending their lead at the top. Barcelona will play Elche tomorrow and try to close that gap somewhat on the league leaders. Welcoming in Luis Garcia now. Lots to talk about in this game, and we'll go through some of the moments chronologically if we can. Luis, let's start with Kylian Mbappe stepping up to take a penalty again and scoring it this time after what we saw in the Clásico.
Top scorer of Real Madrid, top scorer of La Liga. It's true that he missed the penalty in the last game against Barcelona, but that's what you expect him from a top scorer and a leader into the game, that he step up once again the ball and did a fantastic job, score once again. Surprise later on in the second one when he had the opportunity to score even another hat-trick. That's something that I'm doubting. When you got the top scorer that just received the golden boot from last year, you want him to repeat it. So every single time that you have the option to give the ball to Kylian Mbappe, you're going to use it. And penalty is one of those. So surprisingly, we didn't see it today, but that shows that there is no selfish, that he wants to keep people around happy, and it allowed Vinicius Jr. to take the penalty. But very well taken, the first one from Mbappe, that scored once again, 2 goals in a game. Fantastic performance, and it's been a while.
Absolutely. Now, seeing as though he's mentioned Vinny Jr., won't go to the penalty just yet. I will go to the fact that he was included in the starting 11 today. Everybody was wondering if he would be. Was this the right decision by Xabi Alonso?
Well, I wasn't wondering. I knew that Xabi Alonso would play Vinny Jr. simply because not playing Vinny Jr. was only going to invite more questions, more issues, more problems. It was going to create more controversy. And given the rhetoric of Xabi Alonso leading up to this game, in which Vinny, he spoke from the heart, from the soul.
He was impeccable.
Yes, you know what? Look, Vinny, he laid his heart out for all of us, and everything is behind us. We're ready to move forward. Well, the only way to move forward is to continue to play Vinny Jr. If indeed Xabi Alonso had decided to, we're moving forward, his heart is on the table, he was great with his apology, and then you bench him, that creates more problems. You don't need that. What you needed to do was bring Vinny off the field and have Vinny go through the ceremony, the protocol of actually waving to the fans, high five to Hendrik, little hug. Can I hug Hendrik? Oh, yes. Good luck. Mwah. Yes, great. Well, all right. Okay. Hey, Xavi, great. Thanks for taking me off. I really wanted to come on. Look, you go through that protocol so that everybody sees that there is no problem, and everybody now moves forward.
Are you okay with Vinny starting today, Stevie?
No.
Why?
Because.
But I kissed you. What do you want from me?
Well, I can't concentrate anymore.
Right, okay.
And even more importantly, the next time somebody else doesn't quite act the way they should responsibly, then he can't do anything. What's he supposed to do? When he lets one of the big cheesies away with all that nonsense, disrespecting him, disrespecting the players, I mean, it was all pushing and shoving at the end of the game. All of that stuff, he's gotten away with all that. So the next time somebody else steps out of line, if it's me, he better not punish me, because he's let the big cheese off. So he's just created a little problem for himself, in my opinion.
But he apologized with his heart, Stevie.
So he did.
And obviously,
but he's done that before. That's another annoying thing. This is not the first time he's done it. When you do something for the first time and it's a surprise and we didn't expect it, and you can stand in front of everybody, the journalists, your fellow players, the manager, and say, look, I was out all that. I'm really sorry. I don't know what happened. I had the red mist. I lost it. That's acceptable for the first time. But not when you've done it already, and then you think an apology is going to cut it. No, what's a lot of nonsense.
No, Luis, as Ale said, Xabi Alonso had said it's all behind him as of Wednesday. They'd spoken to one another. He thought that he'd been brave in the way that he put out his apology on social media. Who do you agree with, Ale or Stevie here?
No, it's not agreeing. It's about ways of seeing opinions and way of managing a dressing room. I think that Xabi Alonso understanding what is Real Madrid, what is inside, and what is the sound and the surroundings of this Real Madrid side. Every single thing that he's gonna do is gonna they're gonna be looking under the microscope. I think it's very important to try to don't create more than what you already have in front of you. And with Vini Jr. being benched on this game, even if you tell him, I think you're gonna create around something that you don't need right now. You just won El Clasico. You are at the top of the table. You got a very important game against Liverpool. Yes, a few days later. So what you don't want is now against Valencia, people talking during the next 4 or 5 days why you didn't put it. He's been punished. What is been waiting. He wants just to put that away. I'm sure that indoors he has had a chat with him. He has understood, and not only with him, with the rest of the players. Listen, guys. This is over. There is no more nonsense like this. We have to free focus, blah, 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 that a manager needs to do when you are inside a dressing room with a lot of ego. So I think that is a good way to do it because Real Madrid is a different animal. It's something that when something happens, it's going to explode globally, everywhere in the world. And if you don't want to put any more fire or any more wood into the fire, the best thing is just to put it and keep it quiet. Moving on, it's an easy game back against Valencia as we've seen today, and now moving on to Liverpool, and no more people, no more talking about Vinicius. Let's talk about Kylian Mbappe, and all the players have done a great job today.
I'm pretty sure that means Luis agree with me.
He just didn't want to give you it.
Yeah, I know, but I could read between the lines.
You know, just didn't want to give you it.
No, I know.
Jude Bellingham obviously scored against Juventus. That was a winning goal. Scored in the Clasico. That was a winning goal. And today he gets on the score sheet again. So it's 3 straight games where he scores today. And this just shows that Bellingham's back, doesn't it?
But we are seeing from him what we think he is capable of. And that is, of course, scoring the goals as we have seen over the last few games, but also a tremendous passer of the ball with range with his passing game. Finding Arda Güler in behind today like he did. Being able to play alongside Arda Güler in advanced positions. Being able to combine in advanced position. And just as important for Real Madrid, given the athleticism that this team sometimes lacks in the midfield, to win possession of the ball back. When you have Fede Valverde playing right back, which they have now because of their injuries, you're sacrificing Valverde's athleticism. So you need somebody else to cover the ground or to help cover the ground. That's what Jude Bellingham brings as well. A guy who can press the ball higher up the field and can also win challenges in the middle third. All of that is valuable to Real Madrid.
Absolutely. And then an amazing goal, Luis, from Alvaro Carreras. Did you know that he had that in his locker?
No, actually, no. Don't forget he's been playing quite a lot of minutes, but also he brings that. He got a fantastic strike today. He was with confidence. I think that today was a perfect game for Real Madrid overall to try things, and he saw his opportunity and scored one of the most beautiful goals so far this season. So congratulations to him, but much more because he's been a complete player for Real Madrid on that left side.
And so on to the next game for Real Madrid, and we're going to go through Liverpool's league game today against Aston Villa a little later in the show. But how do you see that going for Real Madrid at Anfield this week in the Champions League, Luis?
It's going to be a tricky match for both teams. I had an eye today also on Liverpool, and I enjoy what I've seen so far. It wasn't the best game, but we saw a much better Liverpool intense, dominating most of part of the game, scoring goals, and that's something that we haven't seen for quite a long period in Liverpool. So for Real Madrid in the midweek game, they're going to have to bring the best of the best. That's why probably Xavi was resting some of the players. Going to Anfield is never an easy match, and it's true that Liverpool has had a struggle in the past 5-6 games, but it's always Liverpool, and when they play against the best one, the big players always try to show up and stand forward. So it's going to be a very interesting game, difficult to call. So if someone sees any of the team favorites, I think it's going to be lucky because I think that both of them can win the game.
Okay.
Hold on. When you asked the question, did you really think that Luis was going to tell you that Real Madrid was
Gave him the benefit of the doubt, didn't I?
Did you really think that Luis was going to say, you know what, I tell you what, I saw Real Madrid today that was dominant. I saw Real Madrid today that was close to their best and that could go into Anfield and get a result. You really thought that that was a possibility coming from Luis?
You never know. No. I trust Luis.
Liverpool is not Valencia. Come on, just give me that.
Well, we agree on that.
Well,
yeah.
Two things you agree on today.
100% correct, yes.
However,
Barcelona. Let's move on, because we're going to get to Liverpool in just a minute. But let's talk about the fact that Barcelona play tomorrow against Elche, and they are the best of the newly promoted side so far this season. Make sure to be with us 12 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. Bad times might just be over. Liverpool with a 2-0 win over Aston Villa and 3 points today at Anfield. Let's discuss what we saw today. Frank Leboeuf is joining us too, but only one place to start, and that is with you, Stevie Nicholas. I see that you're smiling again.
well, you know, for once this season, for the first time this season, in the second half, Liverpool were just in control and didn't look in trouble. And yes, they were better with the ball. Yes, the movement was better. There was some combination play. There was a whole lot of things to be pleased about in this performance that has not been there all season. However, against Real Madrid, they're still going to have to defend better.
Enjoy today.
Wait a minute.
Enjoy
So what
today.
changed today?
Enjoy
Let's stay today, right
No,
here where we are right now in the present.
Well, what changed today was what I've just said. Liverpool actually kept the ball, actually were in control of the game for the majority of it. There was some good combination play, as I said. You know, both sides. You know, I'm glad Robertson played. I thought he should start. Him and Gakpo combined well. Salah and Bradley combined well. Szoboszlai was fantastic. He was everywhere. He was sharp.
Yeah.
And McAllister and Gravenberg were pretty much in control in the middle of the park. So all of these things were great. The one problem I'm having is deciding whether this was to do with how Liverpool went about it or how poor Aston Villa were, particularly in the second half. So, yeah, there's a lot of things to be pleased about. For the first time, Arne Smith,
Become English now.
can just take the air off for a few days, and everybody will be walking around with a smile, and everybody will be joking again. Unfortunately, they've got a little team called Real Madrid coming.
The second mention already, even though we're staying in the present today.
Well, you've got to be realistic. It was a good performance. Considering how bad they've been, this was a really good performance. But it's one game. You know, I can't go around talking about Man U or anybody else going, oh, it's only 2 games, and not do the same thing with Liverpool. Because at the end of the day, it's one game. It's a victory. It takes the pressure off for a few days, and it's onwards and upwards, hopefully.
Frank, how did you see today's game for Liverpool?
I enjoyed it for Liverpool. I think it's a big breath for them, and I agree with Stevie. I thought at the beginning, and I was a little bit worried because Aston Villa, I think, were better than Liverpool and more dangerous. But Arne Slot, adjusted some stuff in half time, and he was better. And because of a good midfield with Gravenberg and especially Szoboszlai, they managed to get in control, as Stevie said, the second half. I was happy also with Konate, a little bit less with Van Dijk, but Konate had a very good game. I think Robertson was very good as well. And we saw better Salah, especially the second half. And I was pleased with the willingness of doing better, the better organization from Liverpool, and the fact that Aston Villa disappeared little by little when they were a real threat in the first half, and it's because Liverpool got better.
I've been saying that this team, for the last month or so, has been missing a special sauce, sort of juice, if you will, emotional juice. And it's a detail, and maybe it doesn't really mean a whole lot in the big picture for Liverpool. But in the sequence of play in which McAllister is being choked essentially by Onana and kind of thrown to the ground, and then he kind of gets up and still picking up Onana for the set piece, and they're all sort of kind of grabbing each other and this and that and the other, and a foul gets called on Onana. You see McAllister get up and actually celebrate and show some emotion. Now, why do I bring that up?
Oh my God!
Over the last month, what you have seen from Liverpool is just blank stares. A lot of sort of not knowing how to figure out what is happening. This is not us. What can we do? And in that blank stare, there's been zero emotion. There's been zero reason to celebrate. There's zero reason to go and tackle somebody, win a challenge, and actually celebrate and enjoy the fact that you've made a defensive play that makes a difference. Again, it may not be a big deal in the big picture, but the fact that you're seeing emotion back in Liverpool, I think is significant.
I absolutely agree with you. I think in some ways today will have just blown some cobwebs away. You know, the blank stares that you're talking about. You know, when you see players with a blank stare on their face, it's because they are absolutely unsure of what's going on and how to get out of it. But when you start seeing emotion, things like that, it does mean that the cobwebs are blown away and there's some sort of normality back. That can only be good for Liverpool.
Mo Salah scoring, bringing some sort of normality back. It was a milestone goal for him. Was it more than that? Does that mean more today for him in that it could be something that kickstarts?
Well, it's just from the goal. You know, last week I said that him scoring a goal is huge for everybody. Not just for the team, but for Mo himself. And today he's taken another step forward. You know, at the end of the day, this is a guy who was at the top of the tree. And the first 9 games of the season, he slipped badly down the tree to the base. And so from that goal last week to today's performance, again, not perfect, but there was some vibrancy about him when he actually got it. He wanted to go at people. He wanted to run with it. Did he overdo it sometimes? Yes, he does. He did, because he always does. But that's not something that he was doing all of the season. So he looked more himself. So the fact that he's taken another step forward, the fact he scores another goal, again, step in the right direction.
Okay, we can get to the fact that it is Real Madrid next.
Right, Real Madrid are favourites.
No, my God.
What's your biggest
no
fear?
question.
What's your biggest fear with this Real Madrid team that you've seen this season then against this Liverpool side?
Going against Liverpool's back four. There's no Liverpool could go out against Real Madrid and score 3 goals. They could, because they've got pace, they've got ability. Got a couple today, as I said, it's great. Mo Salah's got 2 and 2. So yeah, if you're Real Madrid, your concern is making sure that Liverpool's front line don't get a good supply of the ball, because if they do, they will cause you problems. Okay. But if you're Real Madrid, you're looking at that back four and saying, okay, even against Aston Villa, they looked a little shaky in the first half. So how are they going to look when you got Vinny and Mbappe and Goulart, whoever it is, on that, particularly on that counter? Because Liverpool 100% are going to go for Real Madrid at home. They just will. They'll go forward on the front foot, which is where the worry starts if you're a Liverpool fan, player, coach, whatever it is, because they're still a little vulnerable on the counter.
Well, Sid Lowe was covering this game. 4-0 it finished to Real Madrid. Sid, you've been getting all the post-match reaction. I wonder what stood out to you from everything that you've heard and what the questions were that were put to Xabi Alonso tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to slightly disappoint you by saying that there wasn't that much focus on Vinicius, because I think a lot of that had happened in the pre-game. The fact that Vinicius played today, the fact that when he went off, and I wonder about this, I thought this was very deliberate. He went off with Mbappe. They went off at the same time. There was a kind of a slap of hands between Vinicius and Xabi Alonso post-game. And so, as he was going off towards the end of the game. And then the post-game questions were actually focused more on Mbappe and focused more on the extraordinary number of goals he's scoring. Someone pointed out that if he carries on at this rate, we're talking about 80 goals for the season. And could he really do this? Is this a player that could genuinely get 60 or 70? And Alonso was like, look, you know, come on. I don't want to talk about what might happen in the future. Who knows? But of course, he's a great goal scorer. There was one thing, though, that I thought was quite interesting, because I thought it was quite pointed, and that was about the penalty. And so Alonso made it very clear that we write up the order of the penalty takers, and that Kylian Mbappe is the first penalty taker, and that he had scored the first penalty. And he said, you know, then there's a little bit of a discussion, and Vinicius takes it. And then he was asked directly, Xabi Alonso, do you like the fact that the players can kind of, you know, can take a little bit of control themselves, can discuss it themselves, and can decide it? And he says, I like it when we score penalties. Now, I thought that was quite pointed.
Yeah, I think it actually might be. OK, all eyes on Anfield now, Sid, because we've got to look ahead. Stevie keeps going there. Yep. How do you see this game going between Real Madrid and Liverpool? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, the first thing to say is to say that all eyes were on Anfield a little bit once we got to half-time here. I think the changes were about that. I think it was about resting players. I think Xabi Alonso is very conscious of what is coming up and the importance of that visit. Of course, he knows all about Liverpool. He also says there's something else. He confirmed this evening after the game that Real Madrid will do their training session here at Valdebebas, at the Ciudad Deportiva. They won't go and train at Anfield. He was asked, why is this? Whose decision is this? He says, my decision. I'd like to, work in our ground. I'd like to work where we are comfortable, where we feel at home. And then he added it at the end. He said, and when there aren't 200 cameras watching us. So that tells you at the very least he's conscious of the possibility of things being known about them. I feel at the moment like Real Madrid look very, very strong indeed. That Liverpool's vulnerabilities are there and they're real. And I think this is a really good test for Real Madrid to give us a sense of just how strong their level is. Because now, we all said this was the case of the Clásico, but we've seen a really difficult Barcelona in the last 3 or 4 weeks, a team that's struggling with injuries and so on. I think Liverpool's a bigger test for Real Madrid. But I think Real Madrid look very, very strong indeed at the moment and possibly are even favourites.
Okay, well, we'll see how it all plays out. Sid, thank you so much for being with us and for covering Real Madrid tonight. We'll see how it all does turn out in the Champions League. But first, we've got more La Liga games to get you through on Sunday and Monday. We'll be all eyes on if Barcelona can bounce back tomorrow as they take on Elche. Yeah, it's a 9 successive win for Arsenal. That's now 12 unbeaten and 7 games without conceding in all competitions. Looking comfortable once again today. And defensive solidity proving to be the cornerstone of their campaign so far. 7 clean sheets in a row, as mentioned. 1 shot on goal conceded in the last 4 Premier League games. 3 goals conceded in 10 Premier League games. 1 goal conceded from open play. These are taking a look at the Premier League standings. Arsenal 7 points clear at the top of the table, and a day certainly for defenders on the panel to be talking about the things that are going right for Arsenal at the moment. And it is hard to look past that defensive unit and how well they're doing right now, Frank.
It's pretty impressive, really. Everything works well. They all spot on. They exactly know what to do. They talk to each other. They cover each other. They can be blind. They could be blind. They would know what to do because they are guided by the others. And starting from Calafiori to, of course, Gabriel and Saliba being back to their best. It's simply amazing, and Timber on the right side with the help of course, Rice, because we have to talk about Rice. I mean, that guy is simply amazing. On top of scoring goals, is the power that they need, the energy that they need to use in order to all work perfectly from the offensive side to the defensive side, and it's absolutely spot on. And I'm really impressed about Declan Rice. But defensively, there's nothing much to say. I mean, not having a single shot from 80 minutes from Burnley today, and the shot was out of target. But as you said, a 1 shot in I don't know how many games, 7 games. I think it's simply amazing to see that. I think only Chelsea conceded only like 15 goals or 13 goals this season. I think Arsenal can beat that record if they carry on like that. They're going to win the title easily, and they're going to beat our records.
And they're looking comfortable doing it as well.
That's how you win. That's how you win the title. You go away from home. I don't care whether people will say it's Burnley. I don't care whether it's Burnley or Brentford or anybody else. When you want to win the title, you go away from home, you win the game, and then you shut up shop. Done. Now, do you want to win 3 or 4 like they could have done? Then, yeah, you do. But when you're 2 up, you're cruising, and everybody's still concentrated, everybody's still doing their job, and you just don't give anything away. I mean, Burnley had plenty of the ball in the second half, but that was only because Arsenal pretty much did what I said. They went, right, this game's done. We're not going to open up. We're not going to try and be fancy. We're just going to see the game out and give them nothing. And that's what they did. They stood right in front of Burnley, and Burnley could not get through, regardless of what they did or how they went about it. That's how you win the title. Win the game, shut up shop, get on the bus, go home, have a beer.
Okay, so that's all the pros, and there are a lot of pros at the moment. But
Have a beer.
Yeah, you could have something else, but
Oh, ginger beer.
We don't know
Right.
too much
Ginger
right
beer.
now.
Yeah.
Victor Gyökeres had to come off at half-time right now, and obviously we saw him scoring, we saw him helping with that second goal. If there was to be a con today, that would be it. We wait to hear what the situation with him is.
Well, it's firstly sad for him because he was going to a better way to his football and adjusting to Arsenal way of playing. Players were using him better and more. We saw that, as you said, in the second goal. You know, the big pass, the big range that he made to Trossard, which I think made the difference. It's like an assist for me because he created so much unbalanced situation for the opponent. Yeah, it's firstly again sad for him. But I think for Arsenal, it's a unit. I think, except maybe like for Gabriel, Saliba, and Rice, everybody is interchangeable, and it is going to work. Because it's more the spirit, the tactic of Arteta, and the way the players want to play together. So, yes, maybe Gyökeres won't score the goal that he did like he did today, but I think it won't change dramatically the way of playing for Arsenal. Again, it's more damaging to himself than to the team.
This is how things are looking. Bayern Munich flying high at the top of the table. They have won all games in all competitions this season. Archie Rintuck was there after the game to speak to Vincent Kompany, but first here is Serge Gnabry.
Vincent, 15 wins out of 15 today against one of your biggest competitors in the league. What are the most pleasing aspects of the win today?
The team, obviously, the team performance, and I mean, they came into this game with, I think, 16 points out of 18 in the Bundesliga, so it's always important to put it into perspective. We knew it was a tough opponent, but to be able to come through this game with the performance as well in the first half of some of the players that I think they've all started very recently, so they've all had minutes, but some of the players that maybe sometimes don't start in the game, it was really pleasing, and it was a really, really solid performance. I think the second half, I said it to the team, I don't accept it that we don't go full again, but I understand it. It looked like we controlled the game. It looked like, you know, when you play against the champions of Europe, you can, you know, I've been a player myself, and the game is 3-0. I think we controlled the second half to put ourselves in a position to have the energy for the game on Tuesday again. So I understand it, and in the end, that's why I'm happy with the performance.
I think it's fair to talk about Vincent Kompany, his impact. You've worked under a lot of managers. What is his outstanding quality?
Yeah, without a doubt, he has probably the biggest impact because a lot of players were here before. But for sure, his I would say his mentality. You know, he always demands high standards. He always demands that we give our best. Has clear rules and treats everybody well. And I think those kind of things, if they come together, and you've been a player yourself, you know when you have a manager that gives you that certain feeling, it just works out well.
Does that mean you like rules now?
Always like rules. I think discipline is important, especially in a group. So, very good. I think everybody knows their roles, which is very important. We know what the manager demands. If you don't do it, you probably have a problem with him. As I said, rules sometimes are good. And yeah, that's why everybody also who comes in knows what to do. We also enjoy playing together. I think that's also a very big factor because yeah, we win our games. Obviously the mood is good. The chemistry in the team keeps growing. So those are the key factors.
15 straight wins in all competitions, making them the first club in Europe's top 5 leagues to win their first 15 games of a season. They surpassed that famous Milan side of the early 90s, and they keep adding to this record. However, next up for them in the Champions League are the defending champions, PSG. At the Parc des Princes as well, Frank, who have you got?
I'm going to be there because I want to see that game, because it's going to be a big test for Bayern Munich. I have a hard time knowing what Bayern Munich and overall Bundesliga stands in a way that I saw Paris Saint-Germain hammering Bayern Leverkusen away from home. And we are talking about PSG, the top of the top, even if I think Doué is going to be injured, so he's not going to be there. But they have so many other talents, and we saw that against Barcelona with 5 players not being involved and still winning away from them. I want to see what where Bayern stands, because I love many players of his team. I think they are the best of the best in Germany. They showed in Champions League that they're capable of winning, but they're going to play against the European Champions League champions. So I want to see how it works. I think it's going to be a great game to watch, and I don't want to miss it. And after, I would be able to make a statement about Bayern Munich, and if they're capable of fighting against Paris Saint-Germain and maybe Barcelona or Real Madrid for the Champions League title in May. But so far, Paris Saint-Germain are the favorites. Against any team, they are the favorites.
Oh, PSG for Frank, Ale.
So he actually made a pick there.
I'm assuming he means PSG by that.
Okay, all right.
But I was the same with you. I'm like, where is it, Frank?
Okay.
Give us your pick.
I heard you, Frank. Don't worry.
All right. I infer that he was saying PSG. I'm going to go ahead and say PSG as well, just because if I say anything else, then Frank is going to get all upset with me that somebody else could potentially have a chance at winning this competition.
Never.
I do agree with Frank in that this is the test for Bayern Munich. And I believe, actually, that Vincent Kompany also feels like this is going to be the test. Because otherwise, how would you be able to explain the fact that he rotated the team as heavily as he did today? 7 changes, and some of those changes, when you think Harry Kane not on the field, Luis Diaz not on the field, Michael Olise not on the field, this guy not on the field, that guy not on the field, you're thinking, man, this is supposed to be a difficult match against Bayer Leverkusen. It turns out that it wasn't. It was so incredibly comfortable, and every single game, or most games for Bayern Munich in Bundesliga have been very comfortable, over by halftime. It's going to be totally different, we assume, against PSG at the Parc des Princes. I still think, because they're playing at home, PSG will be the favorite. I'm picking PSG.
Give me just the team name, Stevie. PSG or Bayern? PSG.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, boy.
You know what that means, don't you guys? Put all
your money on
Bayern Munich.
Came out on top.
It was not Spurs Day today.
Kind of on top.
Kind
the
of.
Spurs fans
Well, in that
let them
particular
know
duel.
how they felt as well. In fact, when you take a look at their expected goals, 0.10 is a very low figure on record for this
Where'd the
side.
0.10 come from?
Thomas Frank has said, I've never been in charge of a team that created that little in one game. Never. Well, what do you make of that, Stevie?
What? Them not creating any
What
chances?
he said as well here. That he says,
Oh, he's right. At no stage ever did Spurs look as though they were going to get close to the goal. Never mind score a goal. I mean, these two sides, if you look at the table, are pretty close. But they're actually not. In terms of where they are, Spurs are a well-organised, solid unit that works hard together and plays together. But they don't have any real flair going forward. And if they do make mistakes defensively that they did today and lose goals, then you don't see how they're going to get back in the game. You know, you might look at Kolo Muani was completely invisible. Kudos, who's supposed to be the guy that gets everybody off the seat, just there was nothing on the end of it. Xavi Simons came on when Bergvall went off, and Xavi Simons did what Xavi Simons does. He kind of looks as though he's going to do something, but it never quite materialises. And so going forward, Spurs had nothing, absolutely nothing. Made a lot of changes. You know, brought Richarlison on, brought Brennan Johnson on. I mean, he tried everything, but he does not have forward players that have got any real flair, that are going to score goals and create a lot of chances. So they have to be tight defensively. And when they're not, they get beat.
is Stevie's scouting report on Xavi Simons that he looks like he might do something but doesn't really fair?
I think Stevie has been watching our Bundesliga coverage
I watch
from
you every
years
weekend.
past.
I watch you every weekend.
Here's the thing with Xavi Simons. There are moments in a game or moments in a season in which he'll do something that you go, there he is. I can get behind this. This is something special. What a talent. And then that moment disappears for weeks and weeks and weeks. But the most disappointing thing about today for Xavi Simons, I would suggest, is this. Lucas Bergvall, who has to come off because of the concussion protocol, he was so incredibly sad, so disappointed that he had to. He was arguing that he wanted to stay on. He didn't want to come off. So they asked Xavi Simons. Thomas Frank says, no, you're done. Xavi, you're going on the field. Now, he must have been disappointed that he wasn't starting the game. Now he's coming in after the 5th minute. So here you go. It's your chance to play a full game. Here we go, Xavi. And he could not have been more disinterested in getting ready. Let me put the shin guard in. Let me put the other shin guard in. The coach is talking to him, and he's like, all right, yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, I guess I'll go in at some point. And I'm thinking to myself, man, this is a guy that was brought in for the very reason that Stevie's talking about, to be the difference maker in the attack, to give something, not only something different, but the little touch of magic, the little touch of something special that Spurs do not have. And he could not have been more disinterested going onto the field. And if you're disinterested going onto the field, what, is the interest just magically going to spark on the field? No, sir. If you are hanging on Xavi Simons to be the guy for you going into the future, if you're Spurs, good luck with that.
Now, in case we didn't make it clear, Spurs were not good today. But there was a winner in this game, and it was Chelsea, Frank, getting the job done today.
And deservedly so, because really I was impressed with Chelsea, you know, especially the first half where, you know, well, I want to say that the first half, I said, wow, everything goes well, they work hard, João Pedro scored a goal, he's trying hard, he's got his confidence back, and you have, like I talked about Rice for Arsenal, we have the best of Caicedo. I mean, Caicedo is a monster, like N'Golo Kante was a monster, like before Makelele was a monster, the guy, the king of the middle of the park. He knows exactly what to do. But everything was working very well. Chalobah, Fofana, Sanchez, every time he got the ball in the air, very sure, very secure. Everything was working well. I said, well, we know Chelsea. We talked yesterday about the inconsistency of Chelsea. So something is going to go wrong. Second half, nothing went wrong. Everything went perfect. Everybody worked hard. They were solid at the back, strong in the middle, working hard. João Pedro working for everybody. I mean, all the runs that he made were useful for everybody. That was a great game for Chelsea. That was what we call the 3-point away game. What they call, or John Terry called the 3-point lane stadium for Chelsea, because that's what we used to do, and we used to do that every time and for decades against Spurs. But today, that was exactly what we are doing, what we used to do. That was great. That was great. I was so disappointed. I just want to have a point on Xavi Simons and some other players who played one good year for him, for Leipzig, because that wasn't the case for Paris Saint-Germain before, and had an average season last season, and sold for £53 million for Tottenham Spurs. And you expect what? What do you expect from those players who have one good year of football to be a game changer? People are dreamers. People, I don't know, I don't get that, you know. But again, going back to Chelsea, everything was working well. Even Garnacho, that I'm not a big fan of, is working very hard, and it's just a deserving win for Chelsea, and I hope they're going to carry on like that.
And it going well, as Frank mentioned, for João Pedro today, playing as the number 9. Can it be as simple as that's where he was playing today?
I absolutely think he should play number 9. You know, I think Chelsea need to look to other players to score more goals. I think João Pedro, if he can hone his finishing, because he could have had 4 today. He definitely should have had 3. So that would be the only disappointment. But I think absolutely João Pedro should play centre forward, no question. And if you can get Enzo Fernandez coming through the middle, and if you can get Gittins or Garnacho or Esteval flying, get Neto involved in goals, get Cole Palmer back. I mean, there's definitely competition for places and goals in there.
But they did rescue a point at the death here thanks to that stunning goal from Amad Diallo. Let's hear what Ruben Amorim had to say after the game.
I think we did some things well. I think also that our level of energy, we drop a little bit. And when our team drop a little bit the energy, you can feel it. We can play well, but is not in full power. But my feeling is that the players really tried. And they tried during the week and they tried today. In the past, if we had this kind of bad 5 minutes and we suffered 2 goals, we didn't recover. Today is a different feeling. You can sense that we could not win this game, but we are not going to lose, and that is a feeling that a big team sometimes have to have.
Okay, so Manchester United salvaging, shall we say, a point there after what looked like it could have been a loss for them. Nottingham Forest will have thought that was the way too. What's your assessment of what you saw today?
I don't like that word salvaging, because at half-time they were absolutely smoking cigars. I couldn't see how Forest were getting back into this game. I mean, Man United was so comfortable. They must have been sitting drinking their tea or whatever it is they have at half-time, thinking, we can't possibly lose to this lot. We can't. And then, of course, as he said, they come out at the start of the second half and they're not at it. And they lose 2 goals. Not from particularly good play from Forest. As I said in the highlight, it's 2 balls thrown in the box and they've ended up with 2 goals. But Man United 100% deserve to take something from the game. And probably over the 90 minutes, I thought they were the better side. So Amorim should be disappointed they didn't win this game. I'm kind of a little surprised at his attitude there. Because I think they should have won it. I thought they were the better side.
Sounds like you agree with Stevie, Frank.
I do, because I think they lost 2 points. They lost 2 points because of 5 minutes of absences, and that's the truth. And we saw that they were dominating the game, and they should have won. And Ahmad should have scored a second goal. That was a pity, because Serge made a big mistake. The goalkeeper should have kept the ball and decided to punch it away. But Ahmad was unfortunate in that matter. You know, but I really think that Manchester United had a good game, deserved to win that game, but lost 2 points. I just want to go back to, I know I love details, but on the second goal, on the Ahmad's goal, it's funny to see Bruno Fernandes asking Ahmad to centers or going more central, because he was a little bit on the right side with the corner, before the corner, and he asked him to center himself a little bit more, and this was exactly spot on for the volley that he made. So the captain did his job as well, and I love seeing the players talking to each other before set pieces, and it made the difference today. But again, they lost 2 points. But they should get confidence because of that game. They know where they have to improve, but they know they are getting better.
So no issue with the controversial corner then. Sean Dyche is very annoyed about this tonight. He says that VAR should be able to intervene in situations like this.
No, come on, we can't have VAR intervening all the time. I'll tell you, I was thinking about it at the time, because the only reason I would have a problem with it was if the linesman gave it. Because the linesman is about 50 yards away over there. He's got a goal in front of him. Mm-hmm. There's no possible way that linesman can see across and give a ball like that being out. There's just no way. And a lot of them do it all the time. So I'd love to know whether it was the linesman or the referee. If it was the referee, then you know what? The referee has to make decisions. Sometimes he gets it right, sometimes he gets it wrong. And I know what Frank's going to say, but an old coach of mine, Ronnie O'Ran, if anybody came in our dressing room after a situation like that and said a word about it, he would cut the legs off straight away and say, you still got to defend the corner, son. That's why you lost the goal. And because you've got... What do you mean, no? What do you mean, no? Frank, referees get decisions wrong all the time, right? And so, from the referee's point of view, if he thinks that's out, he's going to give it out. As I said, if the linesman 50 yards away is giving it, I've got a problem. But you can't go blaming the referee.
No, I'm not blaming the referee. I'm just saying that the ref should have gone to the VAR because it was on the corner. That's it. And you cannot talk about the mistake that the defender made or Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest made, because that corner should never have existed. That's the only thing I say. And after the goal, you have to check if there was a corner. And you check and you see that the ball is still on. Doesn't matter if it's millimeters or whatever it can be. It's not a corner, so goal should be disallowed. And I'm with Sean Dyche. I can be
It's
pissed
2
off
games
because
in a row that
really,
it's happened to him.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I only have one argument against what Frank's saying, right? On the face of it, that sounds like common sense from Frank, right?
Well.
But then, well, hold on a sec. What if somebody goes, well, hold on a minute. We should have had a throw-in before they went up the field and got the corner. I mean, how far do you go back?
That's true.
At the end of the day, you have to make rules.
true.
And once you decide on it for the good of the game, because we can't keep refereeing every single decision, once you make that rule about how you can and can't involve VAR, then you have to stick. Somewhere along the line, you've got to stop and stick to what you decide on.
But they're fighting for their lives. They
that's
conceded
a
from
fair-
a corner, Frank, that should have been given as a goal kick at Bournemouth last weekend as well. This is 2 games in a row. You can see why Sean Dyche is annoyed. They're fighting for their lives in the Premier League.
Yeah, and I'm just saying a fair point in a way that's a direct consequence of the conceding a goal in that matter. I agree with Stevie, and I had that discussion with Michel Platini before VAR came on, and he was against it because he said, yeah, when do you start watching and making sure that there wasn't any mistake? There's no answer for that, but the fact that the ref decides that there is a corner, it's a direct consequence of the goal allowed. That's the only thing matters. That's why I'm saying that it should be disallowed. And you don't care if, like, 10 minutes before there was a wrong throw-in given to the other team. But it's difficult. I understand, Stevie. And we just discussed about it, but that's too much. That's too much for me. And twice in a row, that's a bit too much for Nottingham, I think.
Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Frank's with us. He's not got all of his Halloween makeup on today, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, I mean,
Where's the
fortunately.
commitment?
Did you see him, Ali?
I did.
What do you want from me?
I did see him. He looked fantastic, fully committed.
I love that.
Yeah.
Fully committed.
Yeah.
So, too, was Ali Moreno
you-
yesterday.
Well, yes, I was.
Well, that's Frankie.
Hello. Wait a minute. I tell you what.
So that's Frank's offering yesterday
That is something.
for Halloween. This is Ali.
I'm changed.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to ask where that is.
That's even worse.
Yes. I terrified some
Throw him
children.
into the lake.
Good stuff.
There is a lake next to ESPN. There is a big lake. Throw him into it.
You know what so the trick was that I was apparently chained, and I was in a straitjacket.
Well, you were definitely there, huh?
Right. Okay. And so, I was just, as the kids were coming by, they had to go past me to go where my wife was standing giving the candy. And as they passed by, then I unchained myself. And I would run around the
chased
children
them.
and chase the kids.
Some would say cruel, Stevie.
The
Some would say
kids, the
cruel.
parents, whoever.
Okay, let's get started then. Great commitment and effort as always on
you very
Halloween.
much.
Stevie, Liverpool is 7 points off of Arsenal with today's result. Are they still in the title race?
If you were just to ask me, are Liverpool going to win the title this year, I would say no, right? So does that mean that they're not in the title race with this question? I don't see how there's any way possible Liverpool win the Premier League with the back line they've got.
So they're not in the title.
No.
So you'd have to say, with this question, they're not in the title race, no.
Okay.
No, I don't think they are.
All right. Question for Ali.
Go
on, Frank.
Go ahead, Frank.
No, sorry. I think they need to get better, and Arsenal needs to drop a little bit, their level.
Yeah.
Otherwise, nobody's in the title race. Yeah. It's already given.
They're in the race like the fish was in the race with Jan.
Always.
Or Jan was with the fish.
Yeah. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Yeah. Okay. Question for Ali. Should Xabi Alonso enter Trent Alexander-Arnold or keep Valverde next match against Liverpool? And what is the best option between the two players this season at right back?
So currently, I think the answer continues and will continue to be Fede Valverde. Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold has been out for a long time. You don't put him out at Anfield for that to be his first game back for Real Madrid. Now, I'm not suggesting you protect Trent Alexander-Arnold from the fans at Liverpool that have some sort of agenda against Alexander-Arnold. I'm saying protect him from the fact that this is his first game back. And that is not the environment, nor the time, nor the place to do so. Had he been playing, I don't have a problem with him starting him at Anfield, but he hasn't been playing. This cannot be the first time that he actually shows up. And you say, hey, guess what? Not only are you trying to get back into some sort of playing fitness here, you're also going to do this in this environment in which a lot of people don't feel all that great about you. That's not putting your player in the best position to be successful.
It wouldn't be good for the team either, would it? I mean, you're just throwing fuel on the fire.
Nope.
But fully fit, he's better option than Valverde at right back for Real Madrid this season.
Yeah, kind of, but just think about, because there's a domino effect here. If you take Valverde out of the right back position, you're putting him in the midfield. In the midfield, then you have to sacrifice somebody. And who are you going to sacrifice from the players? We just mentioned how Jude Bellingham is back to nearly his best. Arda Güler has been really good and has a tremendous understanding with Kylian Mbappe, yet another assist to Kylian Mbappe today. And Tchouaméni holds it all together in the middle. So you make the decision to remove Valverde from there to put Trent Alexander-Arnold there, then that starts a chain effect in terms of what happens with the rest of the team. I don't think Trent Alexander-Arnold has proven to be impactful enough for Real Madrid just yet to change everything so that he can be on the field.
Okay. Who are more likely to win the Champions League, Real Madrid or Bayern Munich? Well, you cover the two leagues.
Paris Saint-Germain. What kind of question is that?
Who do you think, Ale?
Between these two teams, I'd say Real Madrid still, but barely. See, Bayern Munich, they are difficult to figure out because we don't, as Frank mentioned in the show, we don't really know what the level is just yet of Bayern Munich. We don't. We think we have a pretty good idea. But I'm concerned about when they start playing some of the better opposition in the latter stages of Champions League, that midfield of Joshua Kimmich and either Pavlovic or Goretzka is going to have difficulties covering the ground, and then you're not going to have the freedom of Luis Diaz and Michael Olise to do whatever they want, and then Harry Kane is going to have to drop underneath to try to help, which then takes him from an advanced position and takes him away from where he's most dangerous. Eventually, teams that have better, stronger, and more numbers in the midfield are going to expose that area of the field, and it's going to force a lot of changes from Vincent Kompany and that team.
Okay. Question for Frank. With his level right now and statistics overall, would you say that Kylian Mbappe has surpassed Thierry Henry?
That's a very good question. I think we could make that statement at the end of his career, Mbappe's career, because I like to talk about consistency, and what we saw with Thierry Henry, especially for Arsenal, before for Monaco, and after to Barcelona, the guy has shown consistency and power throughout all his career. Kylian Mbappe had 2 hard seasons, I would say, last 2 seasons. Even if he ended up Pichichi last season, nobody was very happy with, let's say, the way he thinks the football, his behavior. So right now, I would say no, because Thierry Henry has proven again during his career that he was involved in any cases, scoring goals, but also helping his team, being a leader, a real leader to his team. So far, no, I still put Thierry Henry on top, but I give good hopes to Mbappe that he can achieve many good things.
Kylian Mbappe is gaining, let's say that. It's gaining and gaining quick. Just, what seemed to be an unlikely situation that somebody would surpass Thierry Henry, Kylian Mbappe is, every year there is something else. And let's just say that Kylian Mbappe goes on to win, say, for example, Champions League. And now that it elevates the conversation, I think, to a different level entirely. It's Champions League, it's World Cup winner, and you're thinking, there's an argument to be made that perhaps wasn't there before.
In terms of scrutiny, Thierry Henry got nowhere near the scrutiny that Mbappe gets and has gotten since his career started. Thierry Henry never got scrutiny, really. Certainly not. He certainly didn't get in the Premier League where he spent most of his career.
So you're suggesting that,
I'm just suggesting that Mbappe's the scrutiny that he's under constantly.
which then should then elevate his profile even higher?
I think so.
Okay. All right.
I'm not prepared to go against Frank.
Yeah.
I'm just stating a fact that
Okay.
Thierry Henry could float along, playing for Arsenal and playing for France.
I like to float along.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho's Chelsea, Frank, holds the record of the least goals conceded in the league with 15. So far, Arsenal has conceded 3 goals in 10 matches. Do you think Arsenal can break this record?
Yeah, and I said it during the show. It's possible, and it's feasible. It's not wishable on my side, because I love the fact that Chelsea and John Terry, alongside many other fantastic players, still have that records. But you have to be fair. If they carry on playing like that, they can concede less than 10 goals. But it's still we're still far away. It's only the beginning of November. You have so many games to play. For them, hopefully they're going to keep that momentum. But it's hard to be spot on for 38 games and not conceding too many goals. So I think the 15 goals is going to be hard to beat. And if Arsenal do so, it's only because they deserved it.
Just a little fact to throw in. For all those people that think that football started
In 1992.
when the Premier League started, Liverpool in '79 let in 16 league goals, but they played 42 games. Teams only play 38 games in the Premier League. Just a little fact, that's all.
Just to float it along.
Just
voila.
Floating it in.
And now the
and then I'm
record
going
is
to float back
floating.
out
Everything is
and
floating.
move on.
Funny that it was Liverpool.
Well done, Stevie.
Oh, but you can't change the facts.
Just knowledge, Frank, you know.
That's what you bring, Stevie.
Well, yeah.
Stevie, did you enjoy playing against a certain team as much as Chelsea does against Tottenham?
Oh yeah, Everton. I was trying to think. One.
Where are we looking?
I'm looking for stats in the sky.
And they're there?
I'm trying to remember.
Are they floating?
In what? I was there 13, 14 years. And actually, when I played, I'm struggling to remember more than twice in 14 years that I lost to Everton. Can't complain about that.
Wow.
So, yeah. Yeah, we used to like playing them.
Okay, last question.
Yet another fact.
Just facts again.
Yes.
Knowledge.
Full of them tonight. What do the guys think of the time changing tomorrow in the United States? Obviously already changed for Frank. What do you think of it, Ale?
Fall back means we get an extra hour of sleep, right?
If you haven't got little children, yes.
Okay, well, that's on you, Kay.
It's not her fault.
So,
And by the way, we've been
so
through
Kay's
it already.
very happy.
Yeah, sure. I'm
Yeah.
I don't know, you know. I'm all for it. Yeah, no problem.
You like an
Can't do
extra hour in bed, Stevie?
Well, not that I need it.
Yeah.
I mean, I generally don't get up early anyway, so. But I'll take advantage of it, yeah.
What is your usual wake-up time if you don't have to be up for work or anything
If I don't
else?
have to be up for anything, I'm going to say I'll probably get out my scratcher about 10 o'clock.
I will say this. I don't like the fact that it gets dark earlier.
Right.
Aye.
Yeah,
'cause
me
then
too.
It's a little depressing, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
It's a good time of year, though. So.
No, it's
Why is that a good time of year?
I love this time of year.
Why? It's cold.
It's amazing.
It's wet. There's leaves all over the shop.
You were so.
That's what I'm going to be doing in the morning.
Oh, think about it with your
when you
extra
wake
hour in
up
bed
by
tomorrow.
10,
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to, yeah.
Well,
11.
No.
Can I say something?
Yeah, last point, Frank.
Can I say something? Kay, the style today is absolutely perfect. You're absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you so much, Frank. The guys didn't say that to me, but I appreciate
Well,
it.
because you like that every day. That's why we don't say it. It's nothing new. That's why.
Thank
Yeah,
you
the
so I've got to
haircut.
know
I
it.
love
Just
the
an everyday,
haircut.
an everyday
The
occurrence.
suit,
Hey,
it's beautiful.
man. Do you love my haircut, Frank? Huh? Does
Yes,
this
of
not work
course.
for you?
Yeah, I didn't like the shoes because we see through the table.
Yeah?
I'm not keen of the shoes, but
not?
otherwise the suits are.
What's wrong with the shoes?
suit is perfect. I don't know. I think it doesn't match. It doesn't match, but whatever you want to do.
I meant to ask you earlier, did you get a mouthful of gel when you kissed my head?
It was a little. I would say it was a little. It was. You know, I'll tell you what. It was worryingly crusty.
In the show, LA kissed Stevie on the forehead, on the side of my
on
head.
the side of my head.
Yeah.
It was covered in gel.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a little crusty, and I said, "Well,
was it tasting you, man?
doesn't feel great."
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. And we will be back tomorrow to do it all over again. So be sure to join us on ESPN FC.